I have the privilege of sharing a moment with Tobin Esperance from Papa Roach. You're always developing your sound and making new tunes. And with your latest album, people have been noticing that there's the comeback of rapping, which is like some like old school vibes. Was it like your intention that you're like going back to the roots, or are you like developing yourself all the time, or how did you like musically gather it up?
Yeah, well, I think having like growing up listening to a lot of hip hop music and having that influence from the very beginning, like having a very beat centric approach to the type of music we make. It's very groove oriented. So it was like kind of like we really wanted to just hone in on what makes Papa Roach, like what are the best aspects of Papa Roach? What separates Papa Roach from all the other bands? And I think just the way Jacoby delivers, his rapid spitfire style of vocals mixed with our, like just real simple pocket grooves and the energy. It's just like we wanted to bring more of that back. And working with new producers and making, new friends with these guys, it was like that was the one thing that they were just like, we love it when you do this. Yeah. Do it more. It sounds great. Like it sounds authentic. It sounds real. It's exciting. So we did it a lot on this new record.
Yeah. So I know you're like old school hip hop fans, but what's your take on like new school, like trap or something? Is it like?
I don't like a lot of it, to be honest. There's not a. I mean, other than like, Run the Jewels, and Kendrick Lamar. There's not a lot of like just straight hip hop that I really am getting into.
Yeah, but those are two really good choices.
Yeah. I think so.
I noticed I was going through your set list, and you are playing some covers also, and I noticed that you're playing Blur's song 2.
Yeah.
And it struck to me as like an unaccepted choice. Yeah. Like it's a good song, but how did you pick up that?
Well, to be honest, like we've never really actually done too many cover songs before because we can never agree on something that people might know, like, and it's like a lot of times people, well, what if we do this song? I'm like, every band does that song. Every band does, a Rage Against the Machine song, a Nirvana song, or something. And it's like I would always want to cover something that's weird that nobody would know, and then it wouldn't go off cool live. But I don't know how it is here, but in America, song 2 is played at every single sporting event. Yeah. Because of the woo-hoo. Yeah, it's a thing that they play. Football, yes. So everybody like unconsciously like knows that song. Yeah. And it's such a simple like bouncy song that I thought we should just play that song because everyone's gonna know it. Like I bet you they don't even know who sings it. But they'll know the song because it's simple, and everyone loves to jump up and down and go woohoo. Yeah. So it was just kind of like funny to do it at first, and now everybody like really loves it. Like I was like, holy shit! It's like the crowd actually goes crazy when we play that song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always that it gives you that moment of teenage when you remember that song from the past.
We used to cover like a Faith No More song. We did a Pixie song. And people in the crowd were like, who the fuck is this? Like, they didn't know. Yeah. They didn't get it. Yeah. So it was kind of a bummer. So we stopped doing cover songs, and then now we're doing one again.
Yeah. I also noticed that you're playing some Linkin Park. Did you have a close relationship, if I may ask, with Chester Bennington?
Yeah, very early on, our bands toured together a lot. And we hung out. Especially with Chester, he was like my favorite dude. And this was like going back to like 2000, even before that. And we toured for like 2 years straight together. And we just made really good friends with Chester. And we kind of like went through a phase where we didn't really talk. Like we just lost contact with them, obviously they became huge and were busy making records and doing that, but we had just reached out to Chester right before the record came out because we were trying to get him on one of our songs, and we sent him the record, and he loved the record. He was really proud of where we were going with it, and we talked about linking up and doing dinner. So we had a big dinner in New York together, and it had so much fun, and it was so great to see him. And he was in great spirits at that time and laughing, and was just so lovely. And we got to like catch up, and that was about 2 months before. Yeah. And so I kind of just had this idea that we should just go into that. I think what's on what do you do in the end? In the end, yeah. Just to pay homage to just a lovely guy, dude, a great musician. He just touched so many people, and he was such a happy dude. And that just goes to show you, man. I mean, it's like can't really judge a book by the cover. I mean, if you're struggling inside, it's like you can't internalize it because it'll eat you up. You know what I mean? So I think it just goes to show you got to reach out if you need help. Like don't be afraid to talk to somebody, or get help.
Yeah, it was quite a shock when it came out. I remember the moment also. But let's get back to some lighter notes. One thing that people love to hear about are crazy stories on the road. Can you recall some moment that you've been thinking like, what the hell is happening? What is going on?
Oh yeah, there's been so many of those. I mean, we were just talking about this morning when we were doing an interview. Somebody was like, what's the craziest interaction you've had with a fan? And we were doing a meet and greet, and this lady came in and was like, do you mind if I take a picture with you guys? And I take my dress off, and before she even could get the question out, she already had all of her clothes off. She just slipped her dress off. She was completely naked. I mean, she was fit. So
it was where, like in a public space or?
Yeah. Well, not like it was just the band and us and the photographer and maybe a security guard, and that was it. Okay. But we were like, oh shit, okay. So it was just like, here we are taking a picture with this naked lady. And, stuff like that happens kind of often. Yeah. It's just weird when people are like, sign my ass, sign my boobs, sign my baby, sign my head, sign my shoe, sign me and I'm going to get it tattooed on you. And you're looking at it and they've already have your name tattooed on them, but they want it like over and over again all over their bodies. And you're just like, whoa, this is insane. Like this is a dedicated fan right here for life.
You just said that some of your favorite bands are like Beatles and Björk and Pixies and also that. Have you ever wanted to try out some like stuff like that, playing in like or producing like electronic or something?
Yes. Yeah, I would love to. Papa Roach is one of those things where it's like we kind of like we know our place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to completely, jump the shark, as they like to say. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we do implement like a lot of those, kind of like influences. We spent a lot of time as a band, just like we would just sit down, we would listen to like Portishead and Björk and just liking like bands like Radiohead or Aphex Twin and just all that weird stuff. Prodigy, that totally are like huge influence on us. Although you probably wouldn't be able to tell, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just love going back to that kind of stuff, and I just listen to that kind of music. For me personally, it's like my favorite stuff to listen to. Yeah.
So if you could pick like one person you could work with, who would it be?
Björk. Yeah. I just love like a female voice, like a different thing, like Jacoby's got that really good like that kind of like hip hop and like punk swagger, so to have something to counter that is just really cool. Like we did a song with Skylar Grey on the new record, Periscope, and that's one of my favorite songs just because she adds like this real sexy harmony to it, and so yeah, collaborations are cool. Yeah, we've reached out to people before, and like I think it would be cool to do something with Run the Jewels or Prodigy or something like that. But I bet doing something really different with like a female is like sounds really fun to me. Yeah, it's coming out. I would be honestly, I think I would be way too intimidated. Yeah.
I think, I've actually I've almost met her once, and I was like, oh my god, there she is. She's like my musical goddess. So
she is. Most unique voice in the world, I think. She's got one of the most unique voices, beautiful voice.
Tobin, thank you for this,
Thank you.
and have a pleasure playing for your
you.
final gig of the tour.
Look forward to it. It's gonna be banging tonight.